Hello, welcome to our kitchen.
J'ai de la glaire.
No. Ronnie, I'm going to show you how to cook. First you take the egg and you crack it and then you open it. You take the shell, you put it inside, and you put the egg in the garbage. What? Learn something. It's working? We're Facebook Live. Do you see us? How are you? Mm-hmm. No, if it was on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful.
Sandra, tell Lucy to log on.
Okay, you want me to tell her?
Yeah, tell her. I
Tell
forgot
Lucy.
to text her.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Dad, you're live, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the quarantine kitchen. She just said, "Don't talk much. It's my show." Okay, it's your show.
Who's on? Is there people already on?
Phyllis Keller.
Oh,
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
So good to see you, Phyllis.
It's too bad that I can't see you.
Not better with the
You
light.
could. I don't know
It's
why you
because
don't
it
do
was
that.
giving a lot of reflection when I was here.
Yeah.
You could try.
Yeah, I think so. It's too dark.
Wait,
Let me
ready
just see.
now, Nadia?
Let me see. Here, hold on. Oh, too much, eh?
Yeah, too much.
No. Oh, you
Maybe.
can't.
It's okay. No, it's fine. You look good.
Oh,
Mark
you know what?
Perez, Gladys.
Hi Gladys, hi Mark. Thank you very much for setting us up. And we're all excited to be here today and we're going to have a great time. The Spanish and Portuguese synagogue not only knows how to sing and to
Internet
pray.
is unstable. Listen.
It's all good. It's all good. We're going to wait just a little bit. We still have 5 minutes before we start. So we're going to we might have to give some music in the background, eh? Which one is the Hebrew music that you like? Oui. Mais attends une minute, on va attendre un petit peu. On veut venir. René Azoulay is here. Sarah Arouche is also here. And Denise is here as well. Of course, as
You have
Sandra.
7 people here.
And I have 7 people over here. That's
Oi,
beautiful.
who's there?
Well, we're going to see. They're going to come up. We'll read the names.
I don't think you can see them very well. You have to bring forward the... on peut rien voir qu'il y a sur la table. Et il faut le tourner un petit peu pour voir ici aussi.
We're doing
Yeah.
good. We're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah.
Mais on peut pas.
Doug Gillett.
Doug Gillett is here. Oh, now
I have competition!
Louise Gazin says hi, Muriel.
Hi, Louise!
We have a problem.
Hi, Doug!
We have
I have a real chef online.
We have a problem because Doug is online, and Doug is you know Doug. Doug is actually the late Noreen Gillett's
Son.
That's her son. That's on Facebook Live, and I have to tell you, she is one of the greatest. She was one of the greatest chefs, and everybody has a book, and we're privileged to have Doug here. Maybe Doug, next time you're gonna come and share the kitchen with us. And I see Sandra is going in the kitchen also. You're gonna make it at the same time.
Who else is on?
Are you gonna cook at the same time?
Stella, I guess.
Mais who else is on here? Oh, Sophia, ta cousine de
Oh, Sophia! Oh my God! Ma petite cousine, ou ma petite cousine, je suis plus vieux que toi, alors c'est moi, toi, petite cousine. J'espère te voir bientôt.
Hi, Stella.
On a hâte de
I
te
can't
voir.
see you, but I hope you can see me.
This is so beautiful. Look at this. René is beautiful.
If you want me to see you guys, put your camera on.
It's a good idea.
I know. Then I can see faces.
Doug says his wife and mom and in-law online.
Oh my
wow.
God.
So nice.
Now we're really nervous. Hallelujah, la olam. We can't wait to see you cook, because usually it's always me that's cooking at home. I'm the one who takes care of the cooking at the house, but this time I want to leave my wife shine, because not only are we cooking, but it's also her birthday today. So Yeah, it's Muriel's
you.
birthday today.
It's my COVID-19 birthday.
She-
I'm in quarantine.
It's great for me because actually it's not great. She still orders by phone, so it's always by phone.
Oh,
Muriel?
hi, Jiang.
Hi, Jiang
Hi,
Jiang.
Jiang.
Okay, Muriel, the floor is yours.
Do we have enough people signed up?
Yeah, we have
Yeah?
great. Good.
Okay,
We're gonna
great.
start 4
Hi,
o'clock.
everybody. I have 2 cameras, so I'm going to try to switch between Facebook Live and the people on Zoom. So thank you very much for joining in. They called it quarantine cooking, but I'm going to call it Muriel's birthday celebration. Because that was as close as a party as I can get. I'm going to be working for it, but at least I'm going to be sharing it with beautiful people that I wish I actually could see in person. But we're going to try to do our best considering everything that's going on. And I just wanted to actually see beautiful faces and share something and have a memory of this birthday besides being quarantined. So
If they have any questions also.
yeah, so thank you everybody for joining in. I don't see everybody's faces on Zoom. If you want to put in your camera, then I can see you guys. But everybody on Facebook, hi! I'm excited to share with you guys 2 recipes today. I chose the recipes not so much based on something that I really wanted to cook, but I don't know about you guys, but we're trying to sort of cook based on what we have in our pantries, what we have in our fridge, what we're able to get, delivered, or, trying to limit our outings to the stores. So I figured when I looked around in my pantry and in my fridge, I decided to put together a recipe that I'm going to be at the end using for tonight's dinner. And then because today's Thursday, I'm also going to use one of the recipes that I'm going to make for tomorrow Friday night dinner. So just so that there's no waste, because there's only the 4 of us here today and nobody else to share the meal with us. So that way I can be sharing something with you guys, but at least not wasting anything, because these days I think we all have to be careful and use up what we have and not do any wastes. So the first recipe I'm going to share with you guys is Shakshouka. So I think that everybody sort of knows what Shakshouka is. It's a very popular Mediterranean or Israeli dish that is very popular lately in a lot of restaurants or when you're visiting Israel, and a lot of people are adapting their own recipes and flavors and tweaking it and doing it their own. Now on the link that I shared, and if anybody wants more information, I'll be able to send it after the demonstration, but on the link that I shared, I gave you guys a recipe, but I'm not going to so much follow the recipe today, because again, in the situation we're in today, I'm going to use ingredients that I have. I'm going to use a little bit of a shortcut, but feel free to follow the recipe and the ingredients that I have if you have them. Feel free to tweak it and change a little bit the ingredients based on what you have at home. It's very versatile. If you don't have cilantro, you replace it with parsley. If you don't have fresh tomato, you use canned tomatoes like I'm going to do today. I think also it's just a matter of putting something on the table that's fresh and delicious, and that your family is going to enjoy it and you can still share with your loved ones. So I hope you're going to enjoy it, and let's start. So Shakshouka is a tomato-based dish, and basically I'm going to show you how to prepare the tomato base, and then after that, once the tomato base is cooked, we're going to crack some eggs inside, and basically it makes a full meal with like fresh bread and a salad, and there's a great vegetarian, even vegan meal. No need to always have, in our household, we try not to always have just chicken, fish, or meat. We try to have a few vegetarian options. We use a lot of legumes and all kinds of other ingredients that, you know, fill our tummies, but don't, you know, and give us a bit of a variety. Today, I'm not going to use a base of fresh tomatoes just because I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I want to limit the amount of trips that I do to the store. I don't want to use up all my fresh tomatoes just for the base of the shakshouka. And to tell you the truth, I often use diced canned tomatoes when I'm making a shakshouka during the week. It's a great way for me to still be able to come home from work, still put something on the table quickly, and even if I don't have fresh ingredients in my fridge, it's going to be perfect. It's always something that I carry in my pantry, and because I had a couple of cans, that's what I'm going to use. The can that I normally prefer is the Elmer Accent. My sous chef here is going to help me open my cans, and he's going to help me with my... Say hi to my sous chef. So this one actually has a flavor of garlic and olive oil, but feel free to just use like any can of diced tomato, and if you have cans of whole tomato, chop them up. If you have fresh tomato, my recipe calls for 4 fresh tomatoes chopped up. So the base, like I said, is going to be the tomato. Then it calls for 1 small white onion, but I only have red onion today. I have a regular onion or a red onion, and I decided to use my red onion. Like I said, because of what's going on out there, be very flexible, interchange your ingredients and what you're using, and use up what you have at home so that there's no waste, and so that you can still put food on the table and not compromise. The taste is going to be very similar and the same. And actually, I feel the red onion is going to give a little bit of color and depth to my sauce.
I agree.
So besides the onion and the tomato, I'm going to be using peppers for my recipe. I'm going to be using a mixture of red and yellow peppers today. My recipe calls for 1...
Can everybody mute themselves so that we can hear properly? Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And I agree, if we could mute...
That's how I feel treated. I could be the nicest person alive, or I could be the devil's. And it depends how people will treat me on that given moment. Yes, you could be very I'll be nice. But if I feel you're mean to me in that moment,
Please mute your...
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's...
I'm just washing my vegetables.
Don't forget to wash your vegetables.
Please mute your phone. Hazan,
Yes.
make sure that everybody mutes.
Yes.
Make sure that everybody mutes.
And if I go on, manage. Yes. Shira?
So I am chopping my onions. I'm going to start with prepping my vegetables. So I'm going to chop my onions. And I washed my peppers. So the recipe calls for 1 regular size. Il y a des gens qui sont pas mute. I'm hearing myself back.
Okay, everybody's mute. Okay. Everybody's muted, then you can listen to us. Okay, here we go. Vas-y.
Okay, so I'm going to continue. I think everybody's mute now, so I hope that everybody can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or a sign that everybody's okay.
Ragazzi, dedans.
Can everybody hear me? Perfect.
Okay.
So I'm just chopping my vegetables, and I chopped my onions. I'm gonna chop my peppers. So my recipe calls for 1 large or 1 regular size red pepper. I'm using small peppers because that's what I have today. And I just combining 4 little peppers that I'm gonna chop up just the same as if I was using 1 regular red pepper. Like I said, we have to be very flexible with our ingredients. If you don't like peppers, omit them. I know that a lot of people can't tolerate or don't digest red peppers very well, or even peppers, so omit them. I have to tell you that I do several different kinds of Shakshouka. This is the most popular one and the one that you probably are very familiar in restaurants, but I have a delicious recipe, and we're going to continue some cooking sessions as we go along. I'm going to wait for feedback from everybody, and if everybody is enjoying this, we'll continue doing it on a weekly basis just to keep busy and keep connecting. Unfortunately, it won't be my birthday the next time we connect, but we'll find another celebration to share with everybody when we do it again. But what I'm saying is I have other bases to the Shakshouka depending on what I have in my fridge. So a lovely way to use up eggplant is instead of the tomato, you chop up eggplants and you use it at the base of your Shakshouka. The principle is the same. You cook it down, you season it, you add your garlic, your onions, etc. And then after that you crack your egg. So the recipe or the steps are the same, but the base can be different. You can also put little beans, like canned navy beans. Then I switch up a little bit the sauce or the flavors for that one, but it's delicious. It was one of my favorite dish that my mother-in-law of blessed memory used to make, and it was cooked down, delicious stewed kind of small beans, and then you crack your eggs in it, and it makes a very hearty lunch. Now, and I'll show you the way to do that one later on as we progress on our cooking series. I'm going to ask Daniel to chop the peppers, and then in the meantime I'm going to show you the other ingredients that I have. So besides the onion and the pepper, we're going to add some garlic to the base of our Shakshouka. I'm going to use fresh garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic, or if you don't like the taste of fresh garlic, you can substitute for garlic powder, or you can use a combination of garlic powder and fresh garlic.
Excuse me, boss. Like which one? Oh, like this? Yes.
Yeah. So you can actually do a combination of garlic powder and fresh garlic. I think my recipe calls for garlic powder and fresh garlic. I'm not going to use garlic powder today because I finished my chametz garlic powder this week, and I don't want to use the new pack that I bought for Passover so that it doesn't get, crossed with the chametz still that's out in my kitchen. So I'm just going to use fresh garlic, but you can see how this recipe is very versatile, because even if I'm missing one ingredient, I'm just going to substitute it with another one.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Great job.
So right now we're just prepping. I'm not sure if anybody is actually doing the recipe with us, or if you're just following to have fun, to see how it's done, and then you'll do it later. I hope you're going to try the recipe. It's very easy and very delicious, and doesn't take too much time. Once all the ingredients are going to be in the pan, and once everything is going to start to cook down, you're going to see the dish is actually going to come together very quickly.
Gentlemen, if you don't mind learning some things while I'm doing this, because this is how we cut peppers. So sometimes, people are asking me online, how do you cut these peppers so well? And it's experience and many years of tutoring. And thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it.
So, Kent Benlolo, he's really good at a lot of stuff.
But
He doesn't cook.
that's not true.
No, he doesn't cook. I'm to sing, and I'm not gonna paint and sell you my painting, but if you want to come over, I'll make you a beautiful dish and I can share a meal with you guys. So
Are you lonesome tonight? Do you miss me tonight? Let her sing that. Let's see if she can sing it.
I can sing that one.
I know. You guys are so good. Well, I'm dicing a little bit of the peppers here, and I think the smaller they are, the better they kind of mix in.
Today, I don't know if you guys can see, but I'll tell you, I'm using grapeseed oil. I switch between olive oil and grapeseed oil because I find that both of them can be used with high heat and they don't alter the taste. In my family, we prefer grapeseed oil. It has less of a strong flavor, but I cook a lot with olive oil as well. But again, in these days, I'm trying to use up what I have in my kitchen before Passover, and also because I'm limiting the amount of trips that I'm going out. So I want to use the grapeseed oil. So I'm going to give you my bag, but I'll let you with my lovely sous chef. And I'm going to start warming up the oil.
Any questions? If somebody has a question,
text it on Facebook Live or unmute your
she always does that. Every time I ask her a question, she goes in, she tells the answer. I don't even have anything to say. Can everybody hear? Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
You're okay? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear. Yeah, some of you can hear. Everybody can?
Cantor, you can't cook, but can you eat?
Can
Yeah,
I?
He can eat. Yes, David, he can eat. And boy, he can eat. Look at that.
It's all muscle.
We have proof that he can eat.
We have some wonderful people watching here also on Facebook Live. I just see here Marina Machal. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gali is watching. Gali Pinto is over
Hi,
here.
Gabby, I miss you.
And Gladys is over here. Gladys
Hi.
Moalem. And Heidi Rappaport. Nice to see you. Well, virtually. Rachelyn Cohen is here. It looks delicious. I know. Sarah is here. Hervé Uzon. I hope you know how to cook for your girlfriend. Isabel, hi. How are you? Debbie Amar. And Rhonda from that used to be in the choir in the Spanish and Portuguese. Go ahead.
I put on my pan. I'm going to start with my onion and garlic and adding it to my oil.
Je voudrais bien.
So I put 3 cloves of garlic and 1 small onion. Again, like I said, for whoever just joined us, I'm using red onion. The recipe that I shared with everybody calls for small white onion, but adapt with whatever you have in your house.
Okay.
If you have just a regular Spanish onion, that's perfect as well. Again, I was explaining to everybody, in case I see a few people that just joined, my recipe calls for fresh tomato. Today I'm going to use canned diced tomato. Feel free to use up what you have in your pantry, especially now that it's before Shabbat, before Passover. You can use regular canned whole tomato and chop them up. So use up what you want, change up a little bit the recipe based on what you have at home. I'm going to use fresh coriander because that's what I have today. But feel free to also switch up with fresh parsley or any kind of herbs that you like.
We have Muriel. Sarah Raskin is Rabbi Raskin's wife is here, and Refuah Shalema to our dear friend. Monique Daoud is here, and she says happy birthday, Muriel.
Thank you very much. That's really great that you can join into my birthday celebration. I'm really excited. I'm
Saves me a lot of money, I have to say. Yes, for you.
I'm actually not going to put my fan on today because it's going to make too much background noise. We can smell the too bad you guys can't be here with me, but we can smell the onions and the garlic cooking down now. Once the onion and garlic starts to cook down, I don't want them to color too much. I just want them to become translucent and start to soften a little bit. That's the purpose. So try to make sure that your onion and garlic don't burn, because that'll give the sauce a little bit of a bitter taste. So once your onion and garlic are cooking down, I'm going to add my tomatoes. If you're using fresh tomato, no need to take the seeds out. The juice of the tomato, basically whether it's the can or the regular tomato, is going to cook down as you're cooking your sauce down. I'm using 2 cans. This is what the size of the can. 140 ml. Those 2 cans will be the same as if you were using 4 big regular sized tomatoes, or 4 to 6 regular sized tomatoes. Now, again, if anybody doesn't like peppers, you don't have to use them. Substitute with even little pieces of diced zucchinis, little pieces of, I would say, little pieces even of diced sweet potato or squash. It's just going to make the sauce a little bit sweeter. Basically, the sky is the limit with the shakshouka, because the base is whatever you like, and then you have eggs on it. So I don't know what can go wrong. It's a great way to use up your vegetables and be creative in the kitchen. So I've added the onions and the garlic. Then I added the tomatoes and the peppers. I brought the heat up to high. I'm gonna be careful with it and stir it as we go along, but I do want the sauce to start to, all the flavors to start to combine and everything start to commingle with each other. What I'm going to do now, as the sauce cooks down, I'm going to start on my second recipe. So I chose to do, so the first recipe, like I was explaining to whoever just joined in, my first recipe is going to be part of our supper tonight. So it's the shakshouka, and we're going to enjoy it with warmed up naan bread or baguette and a fresh salad. It's a great way to have a very tasty vegetarian meal, but still have protein with the eggs. But the second recipe that I'm going to make is Shabbat fish. So again, I'm going to improvise a little bit based on what I have in the kitchen. But basically, the ingredients that I'm going to use today for the fish, I'm making it with salmon because that's what I have in my freezer. And again, use up the fish that you have. Obviously, a fish that has flesh that is firmer, like salmon or halibut or even cod, except cod you'll put less water when you're going to be cooking it down. But any firm fish will actually do with this recipe. We're going to be using fresh coriander. I'll explain to you what I do with the stem and with the leaves as we start and progress with the recipe. And I'm going to be using a little bit of lemon. I'm going to be using tomato. Ça aussi, il faut mélanger. Tu peux me mettre dans ce bol-là. Yeah.
I am ready.
Yeah. He's going to be cleaning or washing my vegetables and cutting the fish or slicing the fish. I'm going to use also red pepper. Again, I only have small peppers today, but you can use a whole red pepper. So I'm going to be using tomato, coriander, the stem of the coriander, and the leaves. No, I'm going to be using lemon. I'm going to be using garlic. So I'm going to peel and use cloves of garlic. I slice them in half. I feel they cook a little bit better that way.
Comment tu veux que je les coupe?
Non, je vais découper moi. Petit, je vais le passer. So the tomatoes are going to be on the base of my recipe. I'm going to slice them. So today I'm only going to use, I can't remember what my recipe calls for, but today myself, I'm only going to use 1 tomato because I don't want to waste. And unfortunately, my grown-up married kids, and now I'm going to get emotional. My grown-up married kids are not with us at home, so I'm going to cook for Shabbat only for the 4 of us that are here. Shira, Michael, my husband, and myself. So I'm going to use only 1 tomato because I'm going to do just a few slices of fish. But as your company gets bigger and we resume to having all of our family and friends around the table, then we'll increase the recipe at that time. Sorry guys, everybody that knows me knows that I'm a very emotional and that I cry very easily, so...
Is this the little girl I carry? Is this the little boy at play? I don't remember growing older. When did they... Are you crying?
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
I made myself cry.
Are you ready to All right. It smells amazing. Wow, it smells like...
It really does smell very good. I hope you guys are going to try it
What do you
because
want me
it's
to do with
really
the
yummy. On va le trancher. Non, laisse-le là-bas.
Is everybody enjoying themselves? If there's anything that you would like,
Unmute. Yeah.
if you want to say something, please just unmute yourself, ask the question, and then mute yourself again because
So
then it's quiet.
unmute on Zoom, but on Facebook.
Facebook, you have to write it down.
Send comments and Daniel.
Remy Loeb is watching. Shlomo Banon is watching. Hello to all. Laurence Suissa, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. Eva Serra Levy is there. Good to see you. Such beautiful people, all of you. Let's see. Who else is here? Oh, you have so many people, Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, I think it's a fun way to share the afternoon. And like I said, it's
Yeah.
the closest to a birthday party that I'm going to have. So I'm glad that we're having one today.
Myriam Bélan d'Ottawa, viens.
Ah,
Bonjour, bonjour, Myriam. Good to see you. Cathy Delouya, nice to see you. Laurent Perez, you better learn something like me, my brother.
So for the fish, I sliced my tomatoes. I don't know if everybody can see. I sliced my tomatoes and I sliced my red pepper. I'm now going to prepare my garlic. No, not yet. I'm going to prepare my garlic. So for the fish, I'm not going to crush the garlic. I'm going to slice it. If you only have crushed garlic in the fridge or garlic powder, feel free to substitute. You don't need fresh garlic if you don't have it. You can still prepare this dish. Again, like I said, it's very versatile and you can actually switch it up. And a lot of people don't like the fresh garlic so much. They don't like the fresh garlic. They prefer just the artificial. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Mais il est large. Tu peux le couper en deux.
Comme ça, comme ça.
Il est large.
Comme ça.
No. Yeah. So some people don't like the taste of fresh garlic or the, biting into it. I love it, but feel free to use garlic powder or crushed if you don't like sliced. But for the fish, I like pieces of garlic. I like the way that it, when you bite into a piece of fish with garlic and all the vegetables and everything, it's very tasty. Now for the dish, I like to add a little bit of lemon. If you don't like the taste of lemon, omit it. It's not an ingredient that's that you're obliged to have. It's optional. Some people, if you have marinated onions in the fridge, like salted, marinated, cured onions, cured lemons. Go ahead and use that. I'm going to use a fresh one today because that's what I have. Again, we have to go with the times and use up what we have in our pantry and what we have in our fridge. First to get ready for Passover, but also to limit our outings and limit our grocery shopping excursions to, I try to limit it to once a week so that I can stay home and stay safe. So I'm going to cut up the lemon that I am only using half. My kids don't like it when it's too much of a strong flavor. And again, a reminder, because I'm only doing a small quantity this Shabbat, it's only 4 of us, I'm only using half of a lemon, half of a small lemon in the base. Now, I washed and kosherized my coriander. And in the base of my pot, I'm actually going to use the coriander stems. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So in the...
Show them how I cut the fish.
Yeah, I know. 1 second.
I did it with a lot of love and everything, and then she doesn't even show you. Hold on.
I'm going to show you guys.
Show the fish.
I'm taking the bottom part of my coriander that I washed very well, took all the dirt off, and I'm going to put that on the bottom of my pan. The reason why I put the stems on the bottom of my pan is a trick that I learned a few years ago when I started to, inquire, enjoy cooking and sharing my recipes. The coriander stems on the bottom of the pan prevents your fish from sticking on the bottom. It's sort of a bed. First of all, it gives flavor. It's beautiful and flavorful. Now, if you don't have cilantro or coriander, just use fresh parsley. And what you would do is, if you put it on the bottom and then you put your vegetables, that acts as a barrier between your pan and your fish. And as your sauce cooks down, because you're really going to want it to reduce and reduce all the water from the sauce and just stay with like a luscious sauce. That way it won't stick. Then on top of the stems of the coriander, and feel free to add a few of the leaves as well on the bottom, but I'm going to put the sliced tomato. Again, I'm only using 1 today because I'm making a small recipe, but if you're more at home, feel free to add a little bit more. So on the base now, I have cilantro and sliced tomato. Then I'm going to put all my peppers. Now, in the recipe that I shared with you guys, it's a recipe for a little bit of a bigger crowd. No. And what I suggested in my recipe that I shared with you guys is to bake it in the oven. It's easier process. Actually cooking it in the oven enables you to serve more people, because this pan, you're limited with how many pieces of fish you can add to it. But the flavor is a little bit different, or the end result is a little bit different. When you're cooking it in the oven, your fish is going to be still tender, because you're going to be careful not to overcook it, but it's going to be different. When you're cooking it on the stove, you're really stewing your fish, and the result is going to be a deeper flavor. Now I'm going to add my lemon pieces, my peeled lemon pieces. So I don't know if you guys can all see the base of my pan, but I have the coriander base, the sliced tomato, peppers, garlic, and the lemon. So I don't know if you guys can see. Benlolo, if you can go, or Daniel, if you can go in the back. Let me know if they can see. On the bottom again, for my Facebook.
Bring it up a little bit.
For my
there
Facebook friends,
you go.
I have the coriander stem and leaves. I have sliced tomatoes, peppers, lemon, and garlic. So
it looks beautiful.
that way, Now my shakshouka in the meantime is
Yeah.
cooking
Now
down.
we're gonna show that one here. Come over here. The smell is
And
amazing.
the smell is delicious.
Ça
All
sent
the
tellement
flavors.
bon. Ça sent tellement
All
bon.
the flavors are commingling. As you can see, I have the tomato that's cooking down and it's really delicious. Now I'm gonna let it cook a little bit because it still has a little bit of water.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna add at this point in the shakshouka is the seasoning. I'm going to add sweet paprika. This one is packed in oil. I get it from Israel, but feel free to use any paprika. If you like a smoky flavor, then you can use smoked paprika as well. Mais je fais pas la même quantité que tout le monde. Follow my recipe based on what
Quantities.
the quantities, or reduce if you're making a small quantity and adapt. I'm not going to put too much salt in my pan today because I'm using canned tomato, and normally the canned tomatoes already are a little bit more salty.
Quelque chose en français.
I am going to put a little bit of tomato paste. My recipe calls for tomato sauce, but I have tomato paste, and that's going to work really beautifully.
And nothing works if you don't stir regularly.
Yeah.
What? Seriously, no?
I know.
You have to stir regularly like this to mingle all the ingredients together.
So Daniel did a great job at cutting my fish. I'm going to put now the fish on top of all of the vegetables.
It's the way you cut it that the flavor comes in. If you don't cut it well, then the flavor usually stays on the outside.
C'est tellement petit, c'est bon.
C'est bon, mais c'est comme ça que je les mange là. Je les mange bien, parce que quand c'est trop gros, ça devient... Alors on parle un petit peu en français pour tout le monde qui parle le français, mais je pense que vous comprenez un petit peu quoi. Et puis c'est des repas rapides, des repas qui sont succulents et en même temps des repas nutritifs aussi. Hein? All nutritional and very healthy food.
So I'm actually going to pause for a second before I do the fish, because today is Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and it's my birthday. And I want to take the opportunity to ask everybody, for all of us, to take a minute to, so when I'm going to light the candle, I'm going to ask everybody to think of a person that they would like to, people that are ill, or if you have a prayer or something that you would like to request, or if you're thinking just in general of the world and what's going on around us, and if we know other people in the community that are already afflicted by the virus. So I'm going to pause for a second while Daniel makes sure that I don't burn the shakshouka, but we're going to take a second. I'm going to light the candle, and we're all going to do our own prayers and think of positive, good things, and pray, because today's an auspicious day.
Amen. Excuse me, chef. I think that
Yeah.
we're doing good here.
Okay.
I think I would love to bring the camera and
I don't know, va chercher Shira.
do you
Non,
think so?
non,
Non,
parce
just
qu'ils ne
to
pourront
see.
pas m'écouter.
Non, non, pas de, juste la lumière. Just the light. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to continue the demonstration now. So we're ready, we're at the point where we're ready to add the eggs. We're at the point where we're ready to add the eggs to the
10 minutes goes by.
shakshouka. I have an empty glass bowl. I crack my eggs one at a time. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm going to ask Daniel to do little whales. And each time that I'm going to do a little whale, I'm going to add an egg. It would be better that the whales are close to the edge.
Yeah.
So again, I crack one egg at a time in my glass bowl. And then I pour the egg in the whales that Daniel is creating. Daniel, elle essaye de mettre...
I'm a very good weller.
We're trying to be creative and getting you guys close to my stove so you can see what's going on.
There we go, another well. Are you doing another well?
Yeah.
Well,
So this recipe calls for 6 to 8 eggs. Reduce the heat.
Yes. This is smelling so beautifully. I mean, it's too bad that you can't smell through the... I did. It's already at 4. Now we're doing good. We're going to put them...
Can you see it on the camera?
Yeah. Amazing. And then we're
Okay.
going to do the fish. We're right here.
And I'm going to do one
There
in
you
the
go.
middle.
One in the middle.
Une petite shell.
Oh.
Take a spoon. Tiens.
I got them.
Yeah, okay.
I
Here.
got. J'ai pris un. Il y en a encore un. That's good. Yeah, you're okay. That's good. That's not a shell. That's good. Okay, we have one more.
Yeah.
Can I have one more,
in the middle,
please?
In the middle.
One more, please. And everybody's invited to our house for to taste. We have virtual tasting. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Look
Okay.
how beautiful this is.
So
Gorgeous. We're gonna
What I
close
like-
it.
what I like to do,
Oops, sorry about that. Here we go.
what I like to do when I add my eggs is just a little bit of salt onto each egg yolk. And at this point, I'm actually going to cover my shakshouka because I don't want to overcook my sauce, but I actually want my eggs to cook through. I still want the yellow to be a little bit runny when we're going to finish the recipe, but I really want the white to set. So for me, it's very important to now reduce the heat. I'm reducing it to low to medium depending on the strength of your stovetop, and letting the eggs. And I'm not going to overcook the egg. I'm going to stop it when the eggs are the white is set, but the yellow is still a little bit runny. Now we're going to go and do the sauce of the fish. So again, I'm going to repeat. Everything is in the base of my fish. I have my coriander stems, cilantro stems. You can feel free to use parsley. I have sliced tomatoes, sliced peppers, little lemon pieces, and garlic. And then I have my pieces of fish. I'm going to get a jar, and I'm going to show you how I put my sauce together. So, again, I'm using today grapeseed oil. I love it because it's an oil that you can actually heat well, but it's also an oil that's neutral and doesn't really affect the dish you're cooking. So I'm going to use oil. Again, my recipe has the quantity, and feel free to adapt based on how much you're going to cook. Again, I don't have a very big piece of fish because we're not going to be too many people this Shabbat, but if you are, increase a little bit the quantity. I always like to use a jar because, first of all, it limits how much you can actually put together, and then after that you just close it, shake everything, pour it on the fish, and voila, your sauce is done. Then I'm going to add paprika. So I use again fresh, oil-packed paprika, 1 large spoon. I'm going to add a tiny bit of cumin. I'm going to add some salt, and I'm not going to use harissa today. Again, for the same reason as I'm not going to use tomato sauce. I finished my jar of harissa, which is a crushed pepper and garlic based that a lot of Sephardic, Moroccan, and Mediterranean chefs or cooks use to flavor their dish and a little bit spice it up. I'm not going to use it because I don't have any that's open, and the jar that I have I'm going to leave for Passover, and I don't want to cross. But I'm going to use tomato paste, and it's still going to have a deep red and very flavorful sauce. But again, feel free to use what you have in your fridge or in your pantry. If you don't have tomato paste, use tomato sauce. Try not to use flavored tomato sauce if you don't have, but again, tweak it. So in my jar I have oil, I have paprika, I have a tiny bit of cumin, I have salt, I have tomato paste, and I am just because I don't have, again, whoever is just joining, I don't have any more garlic powder because I have only a fresh, like a closed pack for Passover, and I finished my regular year quantity, and I'm not going to use the Passover one yet until the next week. And again, like I said, because everybody's limiting their trips to the store, and because we have to use up what we have in our pantry, use up what you have, and feel free to be creative. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 clove of garlic that I'm going to crush, and I'm going to put in my jar and in my sauce. So again, I crushed the garlic, I put it in my sauce. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice. And then what I like to do, just so that it helps me, I'm going to fill the top of my jar. And this is like a old bon maman or bonne maman jar of jam. It's the perfect quantity for my pan. I add a little bit of water to the top, and then I'm going to shake everything, and it's going to be ready for me to pour in my pan. Now, the last thing I'm going to actually add is cilantro, fresh cilantro. And I'm going to share another one of my tricks, besides the other ones that I've shared with the stem on the bottom. I put my cilantro or my herbs in a cup, and I take a cooking scissor. Yeah. And I take a cooking scissor. It actually is perfect because everything stays in the cup and doesn't dirty the cutting board, and you can use up everything. There's no waste. And it's actually much easier. So just to come back to my shakshouka, it's ready.
Yeah.
My shakshouka is ready, and I'm going to put the finishing touches on my shakshouka. I just washed the outside of a lemon. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put just a little bit of lemon zest on the top of my shakshouka. Like I said, it's just a little bit of a finishing touch. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my cilantro. Right like that.
It looks great, but it smells even better.
So I don't know if everybody can see, but my shakshouka is ready.
Yeah.
I turned my stove off. And I'm actually going to take it off of the stovetop so that my eggs don't continue to cook. So here's my shakshouka with my little toppings ready to grab plates. Put them in sort of bowls. I don't put them in flat plates. I put them in bowls. I like for people to go in with the baguette or the naan bread and serve a salad on the side in a little bowl.
And a glass of wine.
And a glass of wine. I don't drink wine, but today we'll do a lechaim in honor of
Your birthday.
Yeah, Rosh Chodesh, my birthday. And just wishing everybody, whoever's not feeling well, refuah shelema, courage and strength to everybody, and just positive vibes. We'll continue connecting like that until we actually can connect physically, until I can see you guys, I can smell you guys, I can touch you guys. I want to be with you guys. But in the meantime, I'm going to virtually be with you
You're getting
guys.
personal.
I know. But everybody that knows me knows I like to smell and touch. So now, I'm going to shake my sauce for the fish.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Okay.
So my
sorry.
sauce is ready to go into my fish. I'm gonna pour it all over, and I try to go on top of the fish and on the side. I'm not gonna put a lot of water because the fish is gonna release. The fish releases a little bit of water. As you can see, there's not too much water in my pan. I'm now going to take the cilantro that Daniel carefully chopped for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to top my fish with the cilantro. Try not to waste. All the little bits are really good.
You don't want to know.
And my husband just made fun of me.
Because she's going to repeat, because you don't want to go out, and you know, and he said this.
Well,
and
we all have to play our part. And
play our parts. Stay home.
Be safe. Stay home. Stay home, guys. Use what you have. Improvise.
Improvise.
So now I'm going to turn. Actually, I'm going to switch it up because this is already
Hot.
hot element. I'm going to close because I want the fish to start cooking on high, and then I'm going to uncover it a little bit so the sauce cooks down. It's not going to take too long. A few more minutes and it'll be done. I would love to know if somebody or if anybody has any question, or if anybody
we can have questions on Facebook Live, or we can have questions on Zoom.
Or actually, if anybody wants to comment, if they're going to be trying the recipe, if they enjoyed, if they want to see some more of those kinds of, little programs, I actually would love to know if you have a particular recipe you would like me to show, and if I know how to prepare it, I'll go ahead and do it. So anything, if you don't feel comfortable asking the questions now, email Daniel or myself, text us, however you connect with us, even on Facebook afterwards. So don't hesitate.
This is great. We have.
Can you sing us something that's appropriate for Rosh Chodesh, maybe, Daniel, while my fish cooks? Yeah, I know.
Man,
I know.
this is stressful. You're putting me on the spot.
Aw, cook. Sing us something in honor of Rosh Chodesh and my birthday. Sing us a Rosh Chodesh song.
Sing us a song, you're the Chazan man. Sing us a song tonight.
I've never heard that in a
We're
Rosh
all in the
Chodesh
mood for a niggin, and it all make us feeling alright. La 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 la. So it is Rosh Chodesh, and it is a special time of the month, and we just today sang the Hallel, which was a very, very beautiful experience, doing it through Zoom from our congregants at the Spanish and Portuguese Synagogue. It was very beautiful, and we do it every day, morning and evening. And now that we're waiting for the fish to cook, I want to wish my wife again a happy birthday. So we can all sing happy birthday together. We're doing.
We'll
it.
have to unmute if we sing together.
Well, I'm on. You guys are all muted now, but if
We
you
can unmute.
if you want, we can unmute all for now. And is everybody okay? Everybody having fun?
Sing me happy birthday, please. Sing me happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Muriel. Happy birthday to you. Well, that's that's my gift for her today. You know, we spent a lot of money.
People on Facebook that have questions.
Yeah.
Oh, hi Sylvana and David.
Oh.
Hi Albert. Hi Jan.
Come.
Hi Sandra. Hi.
Ella Elba Zabitbol saying happy birthday.
Thank you.
We have Francine El Haddad saying happy birthday. Ella, say hi to my friend Gad, Ella. I know, Ella. I tried it. Monique.
Absolutely. Hi Victor.
So nice to see
Hi,
everyone.
guys.
Ellen Izo is saying
hi,
hello
Ellen.
and happy birthday. Monique Daoud is saying happy birthday.
Hi.
Debbie Amar says je t'adore.
So many people are joined us between Zoom.
Jacob
and
Meshali,
here.
how are you, my friend? I hope all is well.
So my fish
Gladys.
is actually cooking along and doing really well.
Your fish is doing very
And my
well.
fish is doing really well. I don't know if you can see it.
We sure can see it. Hold on, we're gonna come over. We're gonna come and say hello. Via.
Tu dois apporter le
Yes, my brother.
Danny, tu dois apporter l'ordinateur.
Oui. Yes.
Alors, où est cette Shakshouka avec les œufs là?
La
Wow.
voilà, regarde.
We're making
Regarde la Shakshouka avec les œufs.
we're making home deliveries. Ronnie, would you like me to come to your house and
David,
drop it
regarde
off?
la Shakshouka.
We're gonna leave it at the door, and you have to come in and pick it up.
Mais Daniel,
Oui.
Victor, c'est un chef aussi, Victor.
I know. Victor's a chef. Next time we're gonna have
Numéro 1.
I know. Next time we're gonna have Victor, my brother, also come and help us out. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna finish up with the fish.
Il faut le montrer.
Yeah.
Tu fais pas comme tu vas ce que tu veux. Et apporte l'ordinateur.
pas demander à lui. Vittorio!
Okay, so now I'm coming a little bit closer so you can see the fish actually cooking, and it looks amazing. It smells great. Yeah. So this is our salmon with a little bit of spices, and it smells good. But if you want to make it more spicy, Muriel.
Add harissa or jalapeno, whatever you feel you want. Even sometimes, and I should have put it today, but I forgot. And I can even add it actually. I'm going to add my favorite ingredient, which I forgot. I was so excited.
Which is? Oh, the peppers. Here. Let me go and get grabbed, and there you go.
So I normally used dried hot peppers. Actually, if you use them and they're closed off, you don't really feel the heat. But you just add them like this and they cook down. They add a really beautiful smoky flavor to the dish, and they're really, really delicious. So in order for my fish to start to cook, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna cover it. Still waiting for Daniel to sing us a Rosh Chodesh song.
Itchuli sha'ar tzedek abova modea ze hashar lamonai tzadikim yavo'u vo'odecha ki anitanim vatehi li lishua odecha ki anitanim vatehi lishua even ma'asu abori hayeta lerosh pina even ma'asu abori hayeta lerosh pina me'etado hayeta zot היא נפלא בעינינו מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלאת בינינו, זה היום עשה אדוני, נהגילה ונשמח בו, זה היום עשה מוני, נהגילה ונשמח בו. This is a day that God created and we should be happy
And rejoice.
and rejoice. And this is exactly what we're doing here in our home in front of all of you. And we hope that you enjoyed this beautiful, beautiful time together.
Thank you for
We have
sharing a little bit of time with us. Thank you for sharing my birthday. Thank you for making my celebration really special. I hope you go back to your kitchens, cook some beautiful meals, share it with the family that you have with us, in hope that all of this will end very quickly and we'll be able to be together physically and continue the, beautiful things that we all do together. So thank you so much for joining us, and I really send you a virtual hug and lots of kisses.
Amen.
Bye guys.
Recorded. We'll share it with people afterwards.
Thank you. It'll be recorded. You'll be able to see it. So whoever missed it will still be able to share with us.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Thank